think we're excited about, playing under the lights tomorrow, which will be our first time doing that. We've had a scrimmage. Per NCAA rules, we're allowed one scrimmage against another opponent, but it's not open to the public. So I think the guys are excited, looking forward to playing someone other than themselves. It's been a battle of ours as a coaching staff to get our group to value practice every day, and I think the reason is because they're playing each other every day, and that just kind of gets old. We started on September the 24th, now it's October 29th, and we even treated our scrimmage like a practice, so this will be the first game experience that they have, and yesterday's practice was really good. I anticipate today's practice to be good, in hopes that they are looking forward to playing somebody else. So exciting time of the year, and I think it's time for the journey to begin.
Just talk a little bit about your starting five, I guess, going into this game. Talk a little about who you got in there and some new people and decisions on that.
Well, I haven't thought about it much because we're going to play everybody, and lineups, we'll tinker with lineups tomorrow. So I really haven't thought about a starting five. But I would anticipate, Tyreek Dixon will be out there for sure, and I would have to imagine Tulio and Keandre Cook, and I think we'll have to decide the other two spots accordingly. But whoever we start tomorrow is no big deal. I don't think. We've got guys that we have guys that are capable of starting that could end up being our 10th, 11th man, to be quite honest. And it will be important as the year goes along of who we have out there finishing, and we're still trying to find our finishers. But I think with Tyreek being a veteran point guard and then Cook and Tulio having been, two of our marquee guys since they've been here, I think that those guys will probably start for sure.
You have a punch list of what you want to see at the end of this game? Like top three things that you really want to key on?
It's kind of simple for us every day. We don't want to sacrifice our gift. That's really the bottom line, and that's for every game. And we're not going to write down, hey, let's do this, let's do that. We just don't want to sacrifice our gift, and so it's more so about me reading body language and communication and energy level and how locked in they are as opposed to what the score is. And that's every game, because this group is a very gifted group. And if they just don't sacrifice those gifts, then they're going to win their fair share. They may not win them all, but they'll have a chance to do some good things. But that's what we're focused on. And it's become really just the only thing we're focused on, because they're gifted, and we want them not to sacrifice that gift and come up on the short end.
I was talking to some season ticket holders and some boosters about the scrimmage on Saturday morning. They came away very impressed, especially with some of the newer players. Just what from that game did you and your staff see that you want to see again, or maybe you're honing in on, or something maybe has changed from the first couple of weeks of practice and now heading into this exhibition?
Well, I think when you look at our team, we've got a team that's very balanced in scoring. I think that we can always put 5 guys out there on the floor that can score, and that makes you hard to guard on that side. And then on the flip side, I didn't think that we necessarily played as hard as we could. I think that's been the message. There's a big difference between playing hard and playing as hard as you can. And our team needs to, I told them yesterday, our biggest flaw as a team right now is we don't play as hard as we can. We may play hard, but are you playing as hard as you can? And once we start playing as hard as we can, then we can really start getting better, like really getting better. But I think what you saw out there was what many people know. We've got great size for this level. We've got great versatility. We've got some raw talent. We're pretty much a work in progress still, which most teams at this time of year are. And we don't anticipate playing our best basketball until hopefully the second half of February, early March. So it's just, just another day in the journey. And with this group, some of the things from a basketball standpoint, we cover up with talent. Mm-hmm. But we still have a long way to go to be as good as a group we can.
Are Jared and Ford going to be available tomorrow?
I don't think Jared's going to play tomorrow, but we're going to maybe try Ford. I'm not 100% sure on Ford either. Ford practiced they both practiced yesterday, but I'm not 100% sure on those two guys. I would imagine I won't play Jared, because it just doesn't make any sense to run a risk. And then forward, we may give him an opportunity if he can do it. And I know he practiced maybe half a practice yesterday. So, you know, how we will do these injuries all year long is we want our best basketball team in January, February. So we're not going to risk guys getting severely hurt in November, December. I mean, for us, it just doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of how we're approaching those guys.
So it's a Valley game they're playing.
Oh, if it's February, our whole roster's playing. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no question.
What's Jared's injury?
He's just got a sore shoulder now. It was dislocated, but he's just got it's just soreness now, and it's just, I mean, it's October. It's just
Did he
no sense.
dislocate it in workouts? Or?
Well, he did it over the summer, and he did it in the fall, and that's what I'm saying. So when it comes out, he's out definitely for 2-3 weeks.
Right.
I mean, there's no sense of doing that right now. I mean, we'd rather him be 100% or close to 100% come, you know, January 1.
Is that something that can linger? That he can keep? Is that something that's going to keep popping out of place throughout his career? Or?
I don't know about career, but I guess it can happen anytime, I guess. I mean, you know me, I'm not a doctor.
Keeping Tarasenko out for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Patrick Mahomes could have played.
Yeah,
Playoff
and I
game,
think
but, you
that's,
know,
I mean,
yeah.
right, if it was February, our players
Yeah.
could play.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're just preparing for, you know, our conference.
What, you only have one exhibition game. Do you usually have two, or is one the norm now?
Well, you know, they start giving us those close scrimmages, and everybody gets excited about them. And I think my staff is a big fan of those. I'm personally not. I would much rather do 2 exhibitions. But what you run into sometimes in the exhibition is you may not be able to get as much what we like to call work done or situations done because it's out of your control. So we do 1 scrimmage, 1 exhibition. I'm not sure what we'll do next year. We'll make that decision probably over the summer. But I think, again, if you ask me personally, I like the exhibition because it's under the lights.
Mhm.
But we did learn a lot about our team in our scrimmage.
I guess I can kind of look at last night with the Lady Bears, 109-32. What really, and not to take anything away from Coach Mox, but what really could be gained, correct?
Well, I mean, everybody's got their own interior expectations, and I'm sure that there's some gain from that. And again, you know, you look at around our league, we've had some teams struggle, and it could just be playing under the lights. I mean, that's a gain. That's part of your game plan too, is how do you play under the lights? So if I'm Coach Mike's, I'm happy that my team can beat a team like that. But again, you know, each coach has their own expectations, and again, a lot of times it has zero to do with the scoreboard. Like, again, tomorrow I may look at the scoreboard a handful of times. I'm probably not too worried about it. I mean, it doesn't even count, right? It's just exhibition. But if our guys do what they're supposed to, I would imagine that we have a good showing. But, you know, they're kids. Who knows what they're going to do, right?
So, but in these closed doors, are you able to kind of say, okay, stop, Coach, would you be all right with your team doing this or showing this to us, presenting that so we can work on this? Or how's that?
Well, they're just like practices. I mean, you can stop it. You get unlimited timeouts. You can stop it in the middle of anything. You can walk out on the floor. You can practice. Coaches don't have to sit on the bench. You can go down to other coach and say, hey, all right, you're up by 5 with 2 minutes to go. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's a practice. I mean, that's why it's a little bit more beneficial.
Baseline inbounds a couple
all
times.
that.
Yeah.
Zone game.
Right, yeah.
Late game situations. You know, one of the things that was interesting in the scrimmage we had this year, it was a late game situation, and the other team, they were trying to run a play with like 0.7 to go, and they threw the ball the length of the court, hit the backboard, and had it landed in their player's hand, he could have caught it and put it in. Well, we didn't even know that you could do that, right? We thought that maybe that's a violation if you throw it in and it hits the backboard, but we learned that you could do that. So, you know, it's like a play, right? You put that in. And now if that was, you know, an exhibition, then you don't maybe set up that situation, and you never even learn that. So, again, we just treat it like a practice.
So now that's the throw it off the bus, catch it.
If you don't have a lot of time, right, you got to do something. So hopefully we don't need that.
Other Valley teams have kind of struggled in these exhibition games. Have you noticed that at all? And
I mean, I don't really know. I haven't watched them.
Yeah.
I know that there's some scores that have been close, but they're good basketball players at every level. You know, everyone on our team is not better than everyone that's playing Division II basketball, and I'll say that about the players, and I'll definitely say that about the coaches. I mean, I'll tell you right now, there's probably 250 better Division II coaches than me, and so I don't think the division has anything to necessarily do with it. But again, it's early. It's a game that really doesn't count against your record, and it could be a big deal to the other team because they won't get the opportunity to play a team at that level probably the rest of the year. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But I think the most important factor is there's some good players and good coaches at all different levels, and it's just early. I mean, it's October. It's not even Halloween yet. I haven't even had a chance to put on my costume.
Where are you
it's
going?
early.
Yeah, what's your costume?
Well, last year I was Mr. Potato Head. My wife, she makes them homemade, so we have to do this special reveal, so I can't tell you what. But I will tell you that I'm kind of a superhero in a sense.
So Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he is a superhero, right? I didn't say I was a superhero, right?
In the last hour, the NCAA, did you see the news, is wanting to allow student athletes to profit off their likeness, their name. Would you be comfortable with Tulio standing up there with Aaron Sachs, or Domino's with Marty, or kind of how do you see this working right now?
It's funny, I was just at a luncheon and someone asked the question, and when I walked out I checked my phone and that's what was trending on Twitter. Let me start off by saying this. I am not the smartest guy, meaning I don't always know all the logistics of what the heck is going on, okay? I don't spend a lot of time at things that I don't already know, all right? I'm 35. I like to recruit, I like to coach basketball, I like to watch college football, and after that, I'm probably not really good at giving my opinion on anything. But since this has something to do with what I do, what I can say is the only thing that really frightens me is and this opens up a can of worms of a lot of different change in terms of legislation, and it's not just, it doesn't just impact the players, but it's a ripple effect. It's going to impact coaches and recruiting and administrators and fundraising, and it impacts so much. So hopefully my thing is that they're taking their time to do it the best possible way. If I had a son who could make extra money off of his likeness or image, the dad in me is going to absolutely say, oh yeah, my son deserves to make that money. But then there's a coach part of me that has a question about, other things. Then if I was an administrator, I'd have questions about other things. So, it's just a big deal. And hopefully they put it in place where it doesn't change our game too much, but it's definitely going to change it. And what I've learned is the change is coming, and there's no stopping it. And hopefully Missouri State decides to be out in front of the curve on that thing, as opposed to behind the curve. And I think we're going to do that. But is it good? Is it bad? I just think it's just a can of worms, man. And here we are.
Do you see that maybe it could affect recruiting at this level, at your level, as opposed to?
Yeah, I think it'll affect recruiting because here's what you got to understand, that there are very good, innovative thinkers out there, and let's say that, and I don't even know if it works like this. Again, I'm not a genius, but this is where my mind goes. Let's say that one of our guys has a really good freshman year, and there's a school out there that's got a booster or a donor that would give him more for his likeness than what a booster or donor here would give for his likeness. And that's one phone call placed to his family, and all of a sudden he comes in the office and goes, hey coach, I'm going to go play at such and such because I think I can get more for my likeness. Now, here this kid is, he's an average student, maybe a 2.5, and he's a good player for us, but now I don't get to retain him, so now I lose an APR point just because somebody can pay him more likeness. I don't think that's right. So that's why I say it just opens up a can of worms. I mean, are we going to change retention now? Because if you can offer money, and I think that's how it works, right? Likeness for image. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but what else are we going to change? Like, we have to change other things. We can't just change that. And so that's just kind of how my brain thinks. And then there's a player out there that we may like, and we may have the opportunity to give him more for his likeness here in Springfield than someone else could. And so again, it's just all these new innovative ways to recruit and run your program. And that's why I say we need to be out ahead of the curve if it's going to happen. And I think that's how it would happen, right? Someone pay you to hold up a hot dog. You know, I don't know the brand of hot dog. What is it, Ballpark? Is that a good one?
There you go, that's a good one.
You know, I mean, we get a ballpark guy over at Hammond Stadium. One of our baseball players is over there slinging hot dogs, and now he gets paid for his likeness. And Florida State baseball may have a little more for his likeness, right? I mean, I don't know. So, but here we are. Can't stop it.
Did you play the NCAA football video game?
Do I play it?
Did you play that at all?
So I don't think they still have those, do they?
Yeah, but they can bring it back now, right?
Oh yeah, I used to play. I used to play on those video games when I was in college. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Coach Gibson on our staff, well, he's upset. You know, they used to use his image, and he wanted that check from EA Sports. So, but you know, I was one of those small town boys. I didn't even know I could get paid for my image, right? So I guess they got me pretty good back in the day. So, but
Coach Gibbs gonna get $1.54 for that.
yeah, so.
Anything else, guys?
Cool, thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you.